Howdy how, Sean here back at you with another high ticket tune-up. Have you ever been on a sales call? You and your prospect get to the end of the call and then it gets weird. You feel the energy shift and it's like hitting you in the gut and it just feels like garbage. Well, in this video, I'm gonna share exactly how to stop prospects from feeling stuck, hesitant, and confused. Stay tuned. What's happening, Sales Ascender? Sean here back at you with another high ticket tune-up. Don't forget to smash that like button so we can feed the algorithm gods, and this will get out to more people. That's the idea. But today I had a really zinger question come in from Scott J. He asked this. He says, Sean, my prospects sometimes leave my sales calls feeling confused. Can you help? This used to happen to me all the time. Right? When I got into my selling career, one of the first things I did was I actually almost quit, right? Like when I first started sales, I was horrible at it. I picked up a big book and I made a bunch of cold calls every single day for 6 weeks, over 2,400 attempts, and I never booked an appointment. That was terrible. And I almost threw in the towel, but it was lucky that my dad said, hey, go to the library and read a book. So I picked up a Tom Hopkins book, I read through, and I realized that there was a science behind selling. And I was so excited because I didn't know that there was actually a formula. And so as I got into this world and I figured out, I built a little appointment setting system for myself that I use for myself. I grew multiple businesses to multiple $10 million plus numbers. And then in that journey though, it wasn't just like an overnight success. I struggled a lot. After I got the appointment setting thing, I got to a place where I got in these sales calls and I realized that I didn't know how to sell at all once I was on the call. And so that allowed me to go deep into spending lots of money on learning actual selling systems. And I looked at like 40 different ones and I kind of extrapolated the main pieces. And there's a couple of points that I grabbed from a lot of different selling systems. And this one that I'm about to share with you today is called a clear future. So one of the most important things you can do in any sales call, whether it's the first call, the second call, the last call, any call, is do something called setting a clear future. It sounds pretty straightforward, but what I want to do is I want to show you exactly how to implement this, because this is something you can put in your world today and it will definitely help. So let's dive into the slideshow here for just a second. And I'm going to walk you through this, right? So this is exactly how to stop prospects from feeling stuck, hesitant, and confused. So the bottom line is, as I mentioned, not having a clear future leaves your prospect feeling stuck. Nobody wants to be stuck, right? I remember a specific sales call where I did everything right and I got to this place and then they said, well, Sean, I don't know what to do next. And I didn't know what to do either. And so we were both stuck and that was a terrible place to be. I ended up losing the deal. Not a cool thing. Second thing they could feel is hesitant, right? When you get to the end of the call and that weird energy comes up and they're like, oh man, this is so like I'm just, this doesn't feel right. I don't know what I feel right now. I need to process. That will stop the deal from happening. Okay. That's not good. Last one is confused. You never want to leave anyone confused. Confusion equals zero action. Let me say it. Confusion equals zero action, because nobody makes a decision. Do you make a decision when you're confused? I don't, right? So nobody's buying anything when they have one of those three things happening. So this is why we must establish a clear future. So let's talk about the 4 W's of the clear future. Very, very simple. The 4 W's of a clear future exist of the what, right? So this what needs to happen, the next big thing that needs to happen. So you've had your entire sales call, you got to the very end, and right when it starts, you start to feel that energy shift in your call. This is when you say, well, hey, hang on, this is what needs to happen, right? Boom. You can use that exact question and then go into how it's going to get done, but be very, very brief on the how. Once you fit the how, then we move into the when. You need something on the calendar or it's not real, right? What is the exact next step of the exact next date of what's supposed to happen? Get a very, very clear future, clarity, and give it to your prospect. This helps you as a sales professional realize like, oh, I need to know what to do next. And if I don't, my client's never going to buy. Exactly right. So have that in your mind before you even go into the sales call. And when you get to that place, if it needs to be another call, be like, hey, look, we need to talk again. I want to do this, or I want to share with this. I think this will help you, or I need to connect you with this person, whatever. Grab your calendar and then you just boom, book it right then and there on the point before the call. Before the call ends, book your next thing, whatever it's going to be. If they just bought from you, then it's like, hey, here's your exact next step that you need to take. Number 1, go to this website. Number 2, make this investment. Number 3, set up an onboarding call. Got it? repeat it back to me. Okay, now they're saying it, and now they're clear on exactly what needs to happen after you've instructed. This is the part where you don't really want to be a friend in a sales call, but you rather want to shift into being a guide. When you can do that, that's when you can take a little bit of control and lead. Look, everybody is desperately begging to be led by somebody. I don't remember who said that quote, but people are desperately begging to be led by somebody. Be the somebody at the end of the sales call, right? We talk about the who, right? So who is involved with the next step? What needs to happen? If they need to make a decision, hey, Joe, it sounds like you need to speak with Scott. How long is that going to take? Okay, boom, 2 days. Create out your calendar. Let's put a thing on the time on the calendar. Bam, we do it. And it's like, okay, so you mentioned so-and-so need to be there on that next call. What we're going to do is this, this, and this. Do they need to be there for that? Oh, they do. Okay, can you make sure they're there? Great, right? This is the who involved of a clear future. And finally, the why, right? Why is everyone doing this in the first place? So after I wrap up that whole guide piece at the end of the call with my clear future, so I shift my mentality from being just kind of like a colleague friend into a guide. And I say, okay, here's what needs to happen next. This is how it's going to get done. This is when it's going to happen. Get out your calendar. Let's put it on there. Who else is involved? And don't forget, now that we have that all wrapped up, now I shift back into kind of friend colleague mode. And I say, don't forget now, the reason we're doing this is so righteous. I believe in what you're doing. I love the movement you're creating. This is the result that you're getting people, and it's so powerful to make big impact. When you drop that kind of a line at the end, they're like yeah, like that's exactly, you're genuine and you care about me. And guess what? When they feel that you're genuine and you care, because you should, right? Always for good, never for evil. All these sales tricks or tips I teach, only for good, never for evil. You have to promise me that if you're going to keep watching. Okay. And so that's what happens, right? And then they feel like, oh my God, this is genuine, authentic, original, and I want to work with this person. And that, my friends, is how you enter the clear future into the conversation. And when you do this, I can assure you, like, it is so powerful. You'll crush it. Like, even if you just put this in, here's what happened when I did it, right? So we talked the other day about setting the rules of the game. That was one thing that I put into my sales world that increased my close ratios by 36%. 36, that's a huge number. This one I just shared with you increased it from where I was when I was measuring things, another 32%. So my closes, yes, they went from like 0 or 10%. I think it was like around 7 to 10%, another 60% more. I started closing on average around 63.7%. That's insane. Right? And you can do the same thing by putting a couple of these pieces in your world. Setting a clear future is so valuable. Do it with every call that you do, regardless of it's a sales call or not a sales call. If you're working with, say, you're trying to manage your upline, or you're trying to work with your boss, or even if you're managing other employees, if you're a manager, this one move will help you so tremendously a lot. At the end of every conversation, always say, hey, here's the next step. Boom. Just say what it's got to be. Everybody mutually agrees. That makes you the kind of the pivotal rock that everybody, the foundational strength, right? In that river. If you got to imagine you're the big rock in the middle of the river and all the water's rushing past you and people are trying to hang on to you as a rock. That's what we need to focus on, because when you can get to that place as a sales professional, you truly become a sales ascender. And that's when you can make big impact. You've just been tuned up today. I hope you enjoyed this one. Make sure and smash that like button. Share this to somebody who could use it, that's in sales or not, or just needs a little boost of happiness today. And don't forget, there's a sales ascender inside of each and every one of you. And I'm really looking forward to seeing you next time. Don't forget, please subscribe to the channel so that we can grow the message. I love helping people in the sales conversation. That's my jam, and I love you too.